back. JT here in the studio with you. It is another edition of Studio 10-4 Live. Get a little white check going here so I can turn my skin to the normal color that it is instead of this obscene yellow. Anyway, how the hell are you guys, man? And it seems like we've been gone forever, but truthfully, we haven't. You know, we took a break from the studio and we were actually live. Studio 10-4 Live was out in Louisville, Kentucky for the Mid-America Truck Show and hanging out with all the big dogs out there at the Paul K. Young Truck Beauty Championship show, which was quite incredible. Let me tell you, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about regarding the show, all the sites we took in, feelings about different things, and I got Dan the man waiting in the wings here to bring him in, and we're going to cover all we can about Matt's 2024. Of course, it wouldn't be the same without having some drama getting to anywhere that 10-4 or Team 10-4 needs to go. So had our share, and I was included in that this year. Normally, Dan and Shan are the ones that can't seem to get out of Fresno without a break, but this year we all took a piece of that and made it to Louisville our own way, and certainly by hook or crook on my end, 3 planes, 3 flights, and many hours later than I should have been there. I got there. I was supposed to be there at 2:30 in the afternoon, and I ended up rolling in at 11 p.m. into Louisville. So not usually ever a problem in Rogue Valley International Airport, which is as big as my living room. And literally you walk into the gate, you walk in, check your bag, TSA, take about 10 steps, you're at the TSA, and then 10 more steps and you're in the gate. That's just how small it is. But apparently everybody decided they were going to fly that day, and TSA was completely backed up. And to add insult to injury, you know, I'm traveling with 3 bags of gear. One's checked and the other 2 I'm carrying on board. So that always gets looks. Video gear, think about it. Batteries, wires, all kinds of stuff. It looks like who knows what in there. That's nothing compared to the guy who's a mechanic who thought he could carry 2 bags of, that was a sheet metal mechanic. He's got two bags of sheet metal tools, which include, sharp things that cut and stab and scratch and, you know, bend and shear and whatever. And we're all looking at this guy like, did you really think that this stuff was going to go? I mean, come on. And the TSA guy's looking at us and going, yeah, no, it ain't going to happen. Anyway, while we're all sitting there looking at this guy tapping our toes, gate locked, and we missed our flight. So anyway, that's the short version of it. And they had to reroute us from Medford to San Francisco to Denver to ultimately Louisville, and we got there. So hey, everybody that's tuned in so far, good to see everybody, and some of you like Kendall, my protege, Kendall Dickerson, watching via YouTube. Thanks for everybody tuning in, and of course, Kendall, thanks for all the help as always at the show. And Kevin, I have not recovered from my trip. I came back and ended up sick. I got back. I was feeling a little bit out of it on Monday, and then Tuesday I actually had hand surgery, carpal tunnel, and I got that done on Tuesday, the day after I got back, and then by Wednesday I was down for the count, literally, and I just went back to my day job there at Rogue Truck Body yesterday, first day back. So see if we can get this thing to have me be white again, and there we go. It's having a way with it. Jeff Patello in the house. Good to have you, Jeff, and good seeing you. Good seeing you there in Louisville. Jeff, one of the judges on the Big Rig Build-Off. So a lot of cool stuff that happened in Louisville and this year. So much that Dan and I have to break down for you. Running into the old friends, of course, making new ones. Something that was really slick was, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's out of focus, but let's see here. Maybe it'll grasp it. There it is. There it is. VIP event. That's a poker chip, and that is Rod and Kevin Pickett, who announced their new show that's coming up down the pipe, and on a brand new network, and it's going to be quite the deal, I guess. Looking forward to seeing that. And when it happens, it's going to be, the old Trick My Truck reboot 2.0, call it what you like. And that's kind of what it is. But it looks exciting, and it's only done in the way those guys can do it, which is no bullshit and no beep effing beep way. And you had to have been there to hear all of that. And I've got a couple of pictures of myself and the boys. We were reminiscing from back in the day when we all used to hang out and do show trucks in competition, and it was fun to see and fun to be there and catch what's going on with those guys and the up and coming stuff. Of course, we're in full on TFK mode, Truckin For Kids, and we've got a lot to talk about with regards to Truckin For Kids and the upcoming show. Without wasting any more time and taking up any more time, I'm going to bring our man, Dan, in to the show. Dan, the man, what's up?
Good evening, everyone. How you doing?
Yeah, man, doing good. I'm doing good. I think everybody's doing good. We got a pretty lively audience tonight, so a lot of YouTubers out there, man. I like seeing that.
I was just looking at it here on my phone.
Yeah.
Trying to join the phone.
Yeah. And I got some old friends and new friends in here. Terry Warner, one of my oldest friends, longest friends. I hate saying old, especially when you got a lady on the line. Longest known friends. How's that? So, Terry, thanks for tuning in. So we all made it back, and of course, not without any lack of event to get there. You can tell your own story on that one. You guys had some trouble getting out of Fresno again.
Well, it wasn't too bad this year. We got out of Fresno okay, but our connection in Dallas, we sat on the tarmac for a couple hours. Then they didn't say nothing. And then they told us that the quote, the captain said the plane needs a little oil. So we're going to put oil in it. So we're like, well, okay. And we're watching out the window and we're watching where this guy like dumped jugs into, of whatever fluid into the engine. And then another half an hour passes. We're just sitting there. You can't watch movies or anything because, they don't have their system on until they're in the air. So you're just sitting there. And then they come on and tell us that they put too much oil in it and this plane is no good no more. So we're going to get off of it and we're going to go on another one. And so, yeah, we rolled in, which that wasn't too bad compared to some of the problems we've had in the past. That was not too bad. We did fly in several hours later than we wanted to. So it was a long day for sure and didn't quite get to do the things that we wanted to do Tuesday night when we were coming in early in, mid-afternoon.
Yeah, no, we ended up at the Greasy Spoon Sports Bar instead.
Hoops, baby. We closed the place a couple nights, right? At midnight.
Yeah. Talk about changing the oil. I just have this vision of some character on the ground with a dipstick checking the jet engine on the plane, see whether there's enough oil in it or not, and there wasn't.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. Definitely a little unsettling, but I suppose you'd want to fly in a good plane. So if they say it can't fly, we'll change. And they're pretty quick. Once we changed, we all had to get on the the Skylink there at DFW and go to another terminal. And that thing was packed with, all 300 of the people that were supposed to be on our flight. So, we were like crowded in there and everybody together kind of moving as a herd. But once we got to the new plane, boy, we got on and we got out and it was all right. So,
yeah, apparently they checked the oil on that one before they got it on the tarmac. Well, besides the usual of trying to just get there and having to be a part of all that this year, and I'm blaming the ride from Medford to San Francisco on me getting sick, by the way. because I think San Francisco's what did me in, but no, I have no idea. I mean, who knows where I picked it up? But you get 3 flights to destination, and then you're there, and you know literally come into contact with thousands of people, and we may have been sharing bottles and drinks and things. Maybe may have been, and yeah, it happens. So here we are. Not everybody suffers the sickness, but unfortunately, I think a few of us did get sick. And after talking to you today, finding out the others that did, or at least one of the others that did, I guess, yeah, we're all susceptible. So
a lot of people came home either sick or under the weather or just plain exhausted. I mean,
yeah,
anybody who goes to Matt's knows that it is a marathon. And,
yeah,
coming in several days early, staying a few days late, a lot of late nights, a lot of walking, and add to that really cold temperatures, being out at night. Yeah. Got a few of us, right?
yeah. It's funny. Yeah. And it's funny. I'm looking back at the photos today before the show, and just in one day, I'm like, t-shirt, overshirt, winter parka, and then off and back down to t-shirt to cover shirt to it's crazy. It's like that's just how it is there, man. You got to layer up. And
you know what though, it was a little cold, but aside from the little bit of rain on Friday, it was pretty darn good weather for Matt's. I mean,
yeah.
it would be sunny and clear. It'd be cold, but not like awful cold. I mean, it was a little windy, a little bit windier than it should have been. But
yeah, it's the wind. The wind got us again this year, like last year. So same kind of drill.
And then we come home to this. We come home. I want to be outside. It's been beautiful the last couple days here, and we've been doing stuff outside. And I was showing John. See, I've been weeding. Look, weeded. Not weeded.
The only good thing in California,
like maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I don't know. That's a lot of work.
Jacob Gunderson just joined us. Jacob, good to see you, buddy, and thanks for all your help out there and during the week.
Absolutely. Jacob was part of our team this year after Frank had some issues and couldn't come, and so we brought Jacob down to kind of help take some pictures and some videos and just help be part of the team, and he did a great job.
He did, and I mean, just can't believe how many people we did miss that just weren't there this year. And the truck show thing, it's cyclical. And, guys, they get in, they get out, and it's back to life as normal. And does that mean they're never coming back? I don't know about that. It just means that maybe Mid-America is just out of reach right now, and we'll see them next year, or at least at another show somewhere along the way. So to all of y'all that didn't make it out there, we missed you, and certainly look forward to seeing you guys again soon somewhere. So let's dive into it, man. We hit the ground and literally gathered ourselves to a point so that we'd be ready Wednesday to get out there, and literally jumped in. It was a day out on the show lot for the studio, out about checking everybody, getting trucks ready, and final touches, and in some cases a little more than others, but everybody was working like crazy out there. They had till the next morning to do whatever they needed to get done, and it was rags down at, I think it was 8:30, and then the judging started at 10
for some
yeah,
on Wednesday. Okay. Remember, it was just a select few. And then Thursday was rags down for everybody else.
Yeah. 10-4, right. Yeah, rags. That's what I thought I was saying. But yeah, rags down on Thursday. Yes, 10. That's correct. So different classes that were judged on Wednesday. Don't know all what they were, but I can just tell you that there was a lot of busy people outside getting their trucks ready. So, first impressions, I mean, Wednesday, things were just, moving along and everything was going smooth. We had our booth over in the usual spot in the North Wing, and you and Shan and a few of the usual suspects over there pretty much getting the booth ready to go so it could open up Thursday morning without a hitch and start representing, right?
Absolutely. Obviously we couldn't do this without a lot of help from a lot of people. I mean, first and foremost, thanking Ron Beer for bringing out, he's a cover trucker from a couple years ago. Everybody knows Ron, absolutely cool cat. He brings our pallets out, and we show up at the show Wednesday morning. They're sitting right next to our booth, and so we were able to set up our booth real easy. And we had a lot of help from a few friends. Our friend Jed, and he brought his boss JT and his kid Trey and their driver Kelly, and we had Tim and April and myself and Shannon, and so we had a pretty full crew when we needed it in the booth, and setup was a snap. But and obviously, not to miss JT right here, right. Who busted his ass and ran himself ragged out there doing what he needed to do, doing amazing live remotes. And I think that they were some of the best remotes. I think it was one of the best shows we've covered in a long time, and just had great sponsors, and just was running ragged. He had a few people. Jacob Gunderson was one helping him, and Kendall Dickerson helping him, and whoever else he could grab by the throat for help. And but
the trucks and the truckers, builders, owners, drivers, can't say enough how much thanks I can give to you guys. Some adult beveragely more than others. I one and one of my favorite was our another cover truck story. Help me out, Dan. He was Tim Cody. Tim, thank you. Tim and his team, man, boy, did they come through. Asked me if I wanted something to drink. I said, yeah, I'd love a beer and a shot. And they said, well, what kind do you want? And I said, a shot of tequila, reposado, and a Yingling. And I just, was kidding around. And I kid you not, I think 10, 20 minutes later, a fresh bottle of tequila of Corazon and a 12-pack of Yingling was brought over to the truck for me to sit down and take a break for a little while, which I did. And that was another thing. I didn't have a chair to sit down, so I was stealing any place I could sit for a little bit of rest to get a load off, man. Yeah, Tim and his gang came through big time. So thanks, Tim, and congratulations, guys. Their truck pulled through.
Yeah, they got one of the best of shows with his new. Well, it's not new, but his latest build.
New old. Yeah.
Yes. Apparently, it was his first truck, I think, was the story, and it was the two-tone blue, and it was looking good. And he bagged best of show limited mileage combo bobtail or working bobtail. I'm not sure.
Working, I thought it was.
Working,
yeah.
Was it?
I think
that's a big win. Though. That's a big win. So good for him.
Well, and that's something in itself that needs to be said. Most shows you get a second, third, a fourth. You're like, oh, bummer. Not this show, buddy. You carry home anything for your work that you did and been rewarded for at that show at Paul K. Young, Mid America. It's two shows in one. You carry home any kind of trophy from that show, and you earned it.
And I will say, I know that Tim Cody has a couple trucks registered for TFK. I have not spoken to him about which ones, but I would venture to gather that probably that truck that just won a big trophy at Matt's and is awesome is going to be there. So I can't imagine he wouldn't bring that one. So looking forward to seeing that again and showing everybody here on the West Coast what it's all about.
I got a few photographs here, and we'll just run through them real quick. These are all shot on Wednesday. So, you notice the guys are rubbing and polishes everywhere and rags all over the place. And
that was Bocephus 2.0, right?
Yeah, that's Bocephus reboot right there. Yeah, man.
Apparently the reboot was more liked because I don't think he won anything with it last year. And this year he got a big trophy. So,
he did it
right.
It's just crazy how it happens over there in Louisville, but congratulations, Troy. And by the way, Troy was one of the 4 invited build-off builders, and unfortunately, due to paint, not coming out the way he wanted. Something didn't work out. That fourth build-off truck didn't make it. So all of Troy's efforts went into both Cephas, and it worked out. It worked out okay.
And his
listen,
his work truck that Jacob Bonham brought out and showed, and it also
Yep.
won a big best of show.
Yep.
I believe that was a working bobtail. That's all. I think that was working bobtail.
Okay.
So Cody was probably limited mileage bobtail.
Yeah.
Because I think it was a new build. So.
And I'll just, oh yeah, Tim Cody, right? Yep. Here we go. So, and I'll just move through a few of these, and I've only got about a dozen or so, and got a couple of the build offs in here and as well. Jamie Williams. Hey, Jamie. Jamie says it was limited for Tim Cody, or for Bo Cephas. Bo Cephas must have been limited. Had to have been, huh?
Well, yeah, but that was combo. That was combo.
Yeah. All right, Driverette, what's going on? Saying a shout out to both of us there, Dan. Here's one I missed, and I, by no fault of my own, I was just so dang busy with wherever I was being pointed, and I didn't even go over and talk to the guys. But Black Tie Affair, the latest build from Dave and Dill McKinney. Good job, guys. Nice looking truck. And they put that thing out there on the red carpet with the stanchions around it and everything. And that was a nice touch. It was a Black Tie Affair. So congratulations, guy. Hope we see you guys at a show soon, and love to see you out in California.
We would.
Vanderswag truck. That was one of our featured live streams on Saturday. So if you guys want to check more of that truck out, be sure and go to 10-4 or our YouTube channel and get the full live stream with the complete rundown with Tyler Vanderswag and myself. We're walking around that truck and checking it all out. All right, so we're into this is the first build off truck. This of course is Dustin Dickerson's build, and of course his team and Kendall, of course. Believe it or not, didn't win, but you know what? I'm just glad I wasn't a judge.
That truck was pretty darn cool, though.
It was pretty darn cool, and the kicker, 10.5 day build. 10.5
week.
10.5 week.
Still pretty fast though.
10.5 weeks. Did I say days? Yeah,
that
would have been even really crazier. But 10.5 weeks.
And that's got a 3412 Cat V12 under the hood. It's pretty badass.
3412 Cat, yes. And that's another one. We did a walk around on all three of the big rig build off trucks that were there, and we are fortunate enough, of course, to be really good tight friends with the Dickerson clan. And he started it up for us and ran that thing. That was the first time and the only time, as far as I know, that he fired it up and ran it. Actually fired it up and starts it with a laptop. So that truck is completely digitized, unlike anything I've ever seen before. So it'll be out for.
I think he would have been a bigger contender to win had he had one more week.
I think you're right.
One more week. I think he just needed a little bit more time.
Little more time.
That thing had some pretty cutting edge A-arm suspension on the front, no axle. I mean, there was
independent suspension on the front end.
There was some pretty cutting edge stuff. I mean, a digital touch dash.
Yeah.
That wasn't quite finished, but man, you could see how awesome it would be and will be when he finishes it. If you can.
Well, and I think the idea too, if you're going to have that in the show, you're going to want that lit up and I think they had to just keep everything kind of at a minimum, due to the fact that some of the things that should be or could have been done weren't. And, that's what happens when you get down to it, man. We got
Botello here, and if he's still hanging out with us here. And I mean, I would put this in that convertible bracket, it just it's so cutting edge. There were so many unique ideas, so many cool things that so far out the box, maybe it was so far out the box, people didn't know what to do with it, Jacob Bonham chiming in. He agreed one more week would have
would have won possibly, and he mentioned that he also felt like it was the ideal build-off truck. I have to agree. I mean, when you're talking build-off, and listen, not taking anything from anybody else in there, when you talk build-off, conception, the conceptual ideas that a truck can have from its builder. I think that the Dickerson truck just exuded that. It put some stuff on the ground that you just don't see and haven't ever seen before in a truck. And
I mean, look at those tires. Look at those big ass rims.
Pretty cool. And those custom built, Hogue built fenders. And again, for a complete rundown on this truck, go over to our Facebook or YouTube channel and check out the walk around that we did on that truck. And it was kind of cool because I had Kendall interview her dad on that one, and she did a great job. And I thought it was an awesome time for daddy daughter to hang out and do the rundown. So
we'll be doing a deep dive. We'll be doing a deep dive on all these build-off trucks in the next edition as well.
And there you have the winner of the first annual Big Rig Build-Off, which is the Davis Brothers. And let me tell you, this is another one that, my first impression was, yeah, that looks like a Davis Brothers build. And that's a good thing. And then you open up the doors and you look inside and you're like, holy crap. And my first question, I think it was Kevin I interviewed. I said, who's the musician? And he happened to be the musician. You have to get the inside. And again, we have a complete walk around throughout the truck on our Facebook and YouTube channels. The inside is like a honky tonk. I mean, guitar amp, speakers in the doors, a jukebox center console, lights and everything everywhere, man. This is one bitchin' truck. So
the
job well done.
The finish work and the craftsmanship on that thing was just top notch.
Yeah. There I talked to Tom afterwards too, and he came right out with it and he said, hey man, this is the advantage of having a huge, endless team of resources to pull from and build a truck like this. And it that says it all right there. He's got people for everything, and not everybody does, but they do, and it showed, man. I'll tell you what, the right guys won.
40,000-watt sound system.
Yeah. And
I walked by it. I was like 10 feet from it, and my ears were like vibrating and itchy.
It's Brian's the lead singer for his band. Oh, thanks, Casey. The trailer was like Louisiana Hayride on steroids, man. That thing, when they turned that thing on, it drew a huge crowd every single time. So more from that one available again. Check us out on our Facebook page, and if not there, on our YouTube channel. I'm gonna bring this other last build-off truck up because I want to share that with you guys right now. And that is Adam Johnson, his cab over, and there it is, the third build-off truck. And there was no second and third. It was, winner take all, but you guys decide, what you think was the order of things. But if you really want to have a show truck and you're in the market, this one's up for sale right now. So, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the Davis brothers told me they were going to sell that one too, if it's available. So if somebody wanted to buy it, they can. But Dustin Dickerson's truck will be out on the show circuit for a while yet, and they're going to keep. First of all, I think they're going to finish it and then put it out there completed. But thankfully somebody brought a cab over, and that's Adam Johnson. Way to go, Adam! Nice job. You have to see the whole video walk around of this truck that we did, and it's got some things on it you just can't imagine.
That thing was pretty awesome.
Yeah, Jamie said the Davis brothers. He thought they said they were going to work it out. I talked to them both, and they said they're gonna put it up for sale first, and if it doesn't sell, then I think he said they were going to put it in service. Yeah, so boy, somebody's going to be lucky. So big rig build off. Let's put a wrap on that, and we'll bring up some more. Oh, and now this one here, near and dear to my heart. Of course, our March cover truck right there. You see it. There it is. Bruce Campbell's Rogue built transfer Peterbilt truck took second place in his division. And I just can't be prouder. I mean, listen, anybody brings a truck out from California, and we've seen how that's worked out in the past. It doesn't always end favorably. This, however, a working everyday.
I would say that's not true. James Davis brought his out, got first place. John Silva brought his out, got first place.
Well, there you go.
There's been some trucks.
I just said it doesn't always work out favorably. So it can. It just that it doesn't always. I mean,
did he suck the box into the box so he could clean his trailer?
Yeah, that was and then they rolled it out and had it staged as it sits and as it runs. But second place, and that's nothing to sneeze at in this class and at this show. So congratulations, Bruce. Great job. Well done. And
thanks so much for bringing it all the way out. I mean, he hauled a load. He's no schmuck, but and he hauled a load back. But, that was in part to kind of support us and also to support Rogue Trailers. So appreciate him coming out, and honestly didn't get to spend a lot of time with him because Matt's is, insanely crazy and he was doing his thing. We were doing our thing. I wish we could have spent more time with him, but it sounds like he had a good time, and that was what's important. So
I think Bruce had a great time. And I think, like I told Bruce, I said, you wait till you see the looks on people's faces on this truck when they see it. And all he did all week long was explain what it was and how it worked and why. And I'd love to see Bruce come back next year, whether it be with this truck or if he has another one that he wants to bring out there. Now that he's seen what goes on out there, he really has a clear picture of, what it means to compete in this show. Not that he didn't capture that on this turn, but now he's seen it. And there's things, I think, little things that if he had, had the capability to take care of them, I think he might have got the first place. But that's Matt's. You do everything you can as much as you can, and you try to present something that is going to impress people, and he did. But obviously, the guy in first place must have been a little more impressive. So, congratulations, Bruce, and hope we see you again back next year. Hello, Miss Shannon.
Hi.
Got a couple more shots here. This was a truck that was very deserving, in my opinion, of a lot of attention. And I don't know ultimately how he did, but I thought I was going to have some time around this truck at some point, but little did I know I was going to get hijacked by, 100 other ones. I mean, I'm not kidding. You have, sitting there having to make a decision of what to look at and what to feature is not easy. So you do the best you can. And
I think that was a Dustin Dickerson build that was out there last year that did really well.
The yellow one?
Yeah.
I think you're right. Maybe Kendall will know on that one. Howdy, all the Magini family is in tow here. I saw Roger in there a minute ago, and Annette's on here now. Good to have you guys on.
Jamie.
And another Bo Cephas shot there.
No, that's Travis Sankin.
Oh, wait a minute.
That was the Amcan build.
Oh, yeah. So this is a Dickerson build, and this thing we did.
No.
Oh, Amcan.
Amcan build.
Is this the Amcan build? Okay.
Yep.
So I think the other Dickerson build was next to him, and the one that had all the crazy lights on it.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get to that one. Yeah. So this is the Amcan build. Oh man, yeah. Nice truck. Wait a minute. Who are those guys? Who are those guys?
Who took that picture?
So that's me and Pickett Brothers going back to like 25 years of we were talking about the show in Las Vegas one year we were at together and what happened at that show, man. And Kevin was impressed that I remembered it. He goes, man, you got to tell Rod about that show when we met. And yeah, it was back in like 2004 in the infancy of Trick My Truck and Boss Man Brian Martin and Four State Trucks and all these guys, man.
I got a little bit of a scoop on those guys too. I was just
throw it out there.
I was just talking with Rod today, and they're going to be at TFK. They're going to be debuting a vehicle that they've been building that's going to be pretty cool, and donating some products for our silent auction, some cool Pickett products. So come out to TFK and see them.
There you go. There it is. Picketts are on tour. Good to have them out, and not that they left the scene. In fact, all of us at Rogue Truck Body know them quite well. They're building a lot of trucks for customers of ours up here in the Pacific Northwest. So kind of funny how that's working out. But yeah, there's the official shot there of us all looking at the camera.
I like the other one better.
I do too. And of course, there's Bruce Campbell, the ever so dodging Bruce Campbell, who doesn't ever get in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I just grabbed him. I said, "Hey, Bruce, check this out." But there he is. So, Bruce, good to see you, buddy. Oh, Libby Mosier, of course, hanging out over at the Time to Shine booth there with Evan Stagger and the gang. If you guys were lucky enough to meet Libby, she was out and about. She is the spokesperson and model for Babes and Big Rigs, and she's great. Her husband's great, good sport. Got to be, when your wife's a model and everybody wants a picture of her out there, and he was great to hang around with. Nice guy. And that's it. That's all I got. That's it from Lake Wobegon. So appreciate the time you guys give us to share those, and of course there'll be tons more coming out in the show report when it's published next month and online on the website. So let's talk about impressions. Go ahead.
Let's give a little shout out to all of our sponsors for our live streams.
Absolutely.
So, John had an amazing group of sponsors that helped make his time out there advantageous for all of us and for them too, hopefully. Let me see. I got a list here. I'm going to kind of go down. We got, of course, Dickerson Custom Trucks. We had Lifetime Nut Covers, Renegade Products, AmCan, M&J Transportation Services, North American Transportation Association, High Bar and Minimizer, Valley Chrome, Pittsburgh Power, HD Equipment, Carpenter Custom Truck and Trailer, Time to Shine, of course, Vanderswag Customs, and Rogue Truck Body. So all of those had a hand in making it possible for John to be out there doing his thing. So we want to thank all of them for being a part of it. It was awesome.
That's a bunch of people that care about this show and 10-4 and making it happen so that we can bring everything we brought to you guys for the 4 days we were out there live streaming, and couldn't have done it without them. Thanks, guys, very, very much. Everybody be sure and support all these people, and when you see their brand, let them know 10-4 sent you, and we appreciate you doing what you can to support them. Everybody on that list, great partnerships with 10-4 Magazine. All right, so let's talk about takes, good, bad, whatever, of the show. What'd you think?
It was good. It was so busy. So busy. I mean, so many people came up, and all of our readers and subscribers, and it was just really good. It was really good to see everybody and contributors, and just nice to see everyone.
I feel like we had What's that?
Had some great dinners with a lot of our contributors and a lot of our team and advertisers, and You know, you never get enough time to do everything and to see everyone and do everything. I mean, you'd need 3 weeks to do that, and you just don't have it. So you do what you can, but yeah, it was a fun time. And it's a whirlwind. I mean, it's amazing how fast 7 days goes, and we keep adding days, and it's still not enough. So whatever.
You know, as an attendee, if you went there for 4 days, I think you'd probably be able to cover it if you're just going there to check the show out.
Yes.
In our case, never going to happen. And I mean, yeah, just not going to happen.
I only got out of the booth half a day, and I went to the awards.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother deal in itself that goes on Saturday. So doing what I was doing, Dan and I had this conversation earlier, literally on task from the moment that I walked into the show every morning till the end of the day when I was done. And Thursday being our longest day, which start first thing in the morning and we're not done till 10 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
You know, and Wednesday was no slouch either. You know, you guys had to work out there in the PKY lot because that was the night they were judging lights. But then again, of course, Thursday night. Yeah. So a couple of back-to-backers that were just, you know, backbreakers, man, long days. But that being said,
Jamie made the comment of how much it was relaxed not having a truck, and I was saying to her at some point, I'm like, can you imagine going to Matt's and not having a booth? I mean, we've had a booth since 2004, three or four, and I can't even imagine how much would be off our plate and how much more enjoyable maybe it might be if we didn't have to do all that too.
Yeah.
Well, no, I might be bored.
Yeah, right. I'm sure. I think a lot of people would be very
disappointed. Trucks.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be very disappointed. But I think let's go for the obvious. I want to jump right out there and get it out and say what an incredible, great decision it was to move the PKY Truck Championship out front.
Absolutely.
Congratulations there, team. You guys made a great, huge decision that worked out. And what was amazing to me was how many people were talking about the fact they didn't even know that these trucks existed before. And I understand why. And Dan, again, you and I had this conversation earlier. Every access point to get to that show in the past years was through a back door. Literally. And I'm not kidding you, everyone. And I know because I got to go through all the buildings to get where I need to go. And every time I wanted to go out to the PKY lot and check out the trucks, it was through a back door of another building. Out in front's where they belong.
I think putting them out front was a no-brainer. It was sort of a, duh. Why didn't we do this sooner? The minute somebody suggested it, it was like, yeah, that's what we should do. And I mean, the fact that they had more room, more trucks. I mean, instead of 125, there was 175. They were more spaced apart. They were more accessible. And, you know, I think that it definitely added to the show. The show was good. Probably not the best mats ever, not the worst. It was good. But all that activity out in the front made up for it. I mean, it was, and I have said this to a few people, and I truly mean it because I've heard people say, oh, this was the best collection of trucks I've ever seen, or blah, blah, blah. But honestly, in 30 years of going to shows, this one might have been the most impressive as a whole group of trucks I've ever seen in one place. I mean, there just weren't many dogs in the bunch. I mean, they were just all on the level of amazing. And it was phenomenal. I mean, an amazing truck just sort of blended in like with the rest of them out there. So it was definitely a top-notch collection. The build-off trucks were awesome. It's too bad Troy didn't finish his, or get it done the way he wanted to get it done. So we could have saw what he did. But I mean, that really made the show. That was like just the icing on the cake for that show, to put it over the top as a really good show this year. And it was definitely a smart move to move it up there. Jacob mentioned, that maybe the parking was a bit of a challenge. Obviously, I don't know anything about that. And having to park trucks at my own show, I'm like, that's a nightmare already.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't get to see any of that taking place, which that's okay. I don't need to be there through that chaos, and we have enough of it at our own show to do. But the layout was good, the results were good, everything just seemed to have such a great flow, and I tongue in cheek, I hate to say this, but there was a lot of great trucks parked in booths inside, and that's kind of where show trucks go to be put out to pasture. They get sponsored to hang out in a manufacturer or a service provider or product manufacturer's booth out there in the indoor show, and I think that that's a lot of respect for those guys that get in that position, and I think it's a lot of relief because I talked to a few of them. They're like, yeah, I'm just here doing a gig now. I'm not having to do all that stuff out there.
It's funny because the last few years that's been a more desirable thing to do, not to be outside competing, but to have your truck inside in a booth because you don't have to be there, with judges. I mean, you kind of drop, you drive it in there, you wipe it off, and you're done.
Easier.
And that was like what people really wanted to do more than be outside. But this year, I feel like people wanted to be outside. And I'm looking at these comments, Austin Gottman was out there, who Eric Hill did a feature on his blue truck this month in April, I believe, or March. And he had his 389 Peterbilt out there that had that Freightliner scheme that I believe his grandfather had. And I mean, that was definitely a standout truck. That thing was like gold and silver with a really interesting Freightliner stripe package. And that thing was looking awesome. And also I'm looking at the comments here, and Jacob Bonham was commenting on not truck parking, the cars. So here's my fix to that, Jacob. Park in the back and come in the back, and we will be the first booth you come across. And, the parking's great in the back. And we kind of hoped that when the trucks got moved to the front, that they would put all the public parking in the back.
Yeah.
And we're right by the rear entrance in the north wing. And I mean, we're like, this will be great. People will park back there because they can't park in the front. They'll walk in and look to the left, and boom, there's 10-4. But not many people parked in the back. That didn't quite come to fruition. But here
Saturday was the
next year. That's the sneaky little entrance. Park in the back, come to our booth, grab a magazine. We'll fix you up, we'll hook you up, and it'll be a lot.
I like Jacob's giving a shout out to Caleb Hammett, and Caleb is one of the ones I talked to, who is inside with one of the manufacturers in there, and his truck's parked in their booth. Hey, Caleb, what's going on, buddy? And I think awesome for them for guys like Caleb to be in there and still, hey, relevant as ever, man. Take a break, and some of the other guys that we didn't see and weren't there at the show, and I know they're still around and they're still doing stuff. They just couldn't make mats happen or didn't want to this year for their own reasons. We missed you, and look forward to seeing you guys again soon, and hopefully we'll see some of you in California in a few weeks. But
definitely stay tuned for the May edition. We're gonna have a lot of mats coverage. You're gonna have a lot of build off coverage. So keep an eye out for that.
Good. That'll be good. Indoors, I have to say, the West Wing, which is like the Wild West, was a little bit calmer this year. I don't know what the deal was there, but the West Wing is definitely its own deal, but not to be any lesser than. But I think that was probably one of the original structures of the exposition center, and been there the longest, and they do what they do out there. The rest of the show, the way it was laid out, from what I could see of it, Literally, I would go from our booth along the wall into the east wing, into the south wing, out into the press box to get lunch, and then wherever from there. And one day it was all the way
I'm
over
glad
to the
you got
west
to take
wing.
advantage of that. I never even walked in that room. I never even got to
Yeah.
take advantage of all that food.
Oh man, you know what? There was one day I got in there and I was spent by lunch, and I sat down, had a nap, had lunch, had a nap, and then boom, I was out. I think that was Thursday.
I called you and said, "Where are you?"
I think if next year is like this year, I mean, that South Hall is a giant building and it was half empty. I don't know why they don't just move everybody from the west, put them in that south, and just do south, east, and north. They're all connected. They're all new. They're all nice. And, let the west just be whatever it is.
That's
and
so
bring
fun.
everybody into the new rooms, and
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and again, that ties into what I was saying about moving the PKY up to the front. Is the first time I ever went in the front way to the west wing and then back out to the show trucks out the front door instead of going out the back door. And as with every other building, it was always a back door entry into the truck show for them. And not this time, man. If you're coming into the Kentucky Exposition Center, man, you're gonna first thing you're gonna see is it's this huge wow factor of show trucks that are parked out there in the PKY lot. And there was a lot of other stuff around that was going on, and I had no idea. Never made it over to that other lot that had a bunch of guys parked in it. I don't even know what was happening over there, but I can tell you when it came to Thursday night and Friday night, and everybody sounding off and hitting jakes and horns and lights and trucks with airbags, that place was a freaking explosion over there. It was like I'd never seen in that particular venue. Anyway, good job, JC and company. You guys did a bang up job, I think. And I didn't hear anything from anybody of complaints. I heard nothing. So I don't know if everybody was content or it was just like, it's all great and we don't care. I don't know.
There was a little bit. There was a little bit.
There was a little bit.
Just
Gotta have some drama, right? What's a truck show without drama?
Just a little bit.
Well, what are you gonna do? So I didn't hear any of it, and I was in touch with a lot of folks out there, but all in all, from what I could see on the inside, good times. Outside definitely was where my time was more spent, and fantastic. I really liked how it worked out this year.
Yep.
Yeah, I see Cody. I see Cody's chiming in. You get some new tires yet, Cody?
Yeah, Cody. What the heck, man?
You better be coming out to TFK.
Yeah.
The last time I saw Cody Davis, unfortunately, his truck was on a hook. That's never a good scene. Never a good sight, buddy.
Well, let's talk about TFK because that is what's big in our mind. Matt's is back there, man.
Matt's is so last month,
Yeah,
it's so last month.
So last week.
Yeah. Last week.
I know.
It was. Yes, excuse me. Still coughing up the remnants of that. So yeah. Let's talk Truckin For Kids 2024. What's shaking?
I mean, we're like pedal to the metal on that and making a lot of things happen and been working on it the last few days, like hardcore. Couldn't really do a lot of things until we got back from Matt's, but then realized we had a very small window to get a lot of things done.
Yes.
But we've got an amazing group of vendors coming out, and we're working on getting some really good items for our auction. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but we're going to do part of our auction silent. Part of it is going to be live, and we have a celebrity auctioneer. He's the auctioneer from Storage Wars. His name is Dan Dodson. He's coming out Sunday afternoon to auction off a few of our higher end items. So that's going to be kind of cool. And I mean, we've got a couple different exhibition runs that are going to be going on down the track. You know, we've got Kelly with the Mavix community organization bringing out her Camaro that she does wheel stands with. And
Kelly's awesome, man.
Yeah.
One of my first Instagram, Facebook, Irwindale race friends. You know, she's awesome. You guys are gonna love her.
So, and then we got some trucking company. I'm not sure who it is that has some kind of a hot rod 30 something drag coupe. They're going to come out and do some passes. Of course, we got the jet dragsters coming out from Muy Caliente Racing again. They're going to be doing some passes, and we've got the Hot for Teacher Top Fuel Alcohol Funny Car coming out. And so I've heard a few different things. I've heard they're going to fire it up in the, you know, they're going to have it on display. The driver's going to be out there signing autographs, Alex. And
Milinovich, isn't that his name? Milinovich, yeah.
Okay, you went for it. I wasn't sure. I stayed away from it.
I think it's Milinovich, if I'm not mistaken.
Like
yeah.
So I've heard that they're going to start it up and cackle it. I've also heard they might do a little pass. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I had a meeting with the track yesterday. I said if he wants to do a pass, can he do a pass? He said absolutely. They had somebody else out there, I forget who he said, that did a pass, and, you know, they touched the throttle for about 0.3 seconds and they're done. The run is done. You know, they've done it in 2 seconds. They've done the 8th mile, you know, but so that would be kind of cool if that happens. And
absolutely, it would be.
So I think that
Cody says he's up and running again, by the way. Congrats, Cody.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. I saw that too. So, but yeah, we're working on the auction, getting some really great items. And we put a call out today. If anybody does want to be a vendor or a sponsor or wants to donate a product for our auction, you kind of need to do it in the next day or two, because our program's going to the printer Monday. And if you want recognition in there, and I want to give recognition, whether you want it or not, I want to give recognition for everybody who donates something. I want them to be in that program. So if they do it after that, that's great too, but they won't get in the program. So we're hoping that, you know, we have a few things we're tying up here at the last few days and getting that all handled. And we got our t-shirts all ordered, and gosh, what else is happening? The buckets are, the bucket.
Oh, the buckets are awesome.
All the bucket products being delivered, so we can get those together. Going to be a great bucket again.
Yeah.
Are we still saying our favorite TFK phrase, or are we past that point now?
Well, register. We're not saying pre-register. Register. So I will tell you, our registration numbers this year are 3 times more than they were last year at this date. So I don't want to freak anybody out, but I mean, our combo spots are not going to last. And we still have three and a half weeks to go.
Just 3 weeks.
Let's call it 4. Let's call it 4 to make us feel better. So, I mean, if you're planning on bringing a combo out, I mean, our combo to bobtail ratio is ridiculous. I mean, everybody wants to bring a combo. Yeah. So I'm saying, if you're planning to bring a combo out, do not rest on your laurels. Get it registered, because last year we ran out of combo space. We ran out of all spaces, and we were able to reconfigure our parking at the last moment and squeeze in another 50 trucks. This year we're not going to be able to do that. So when we sell out, y'all are going to call and you're going to be upset, and I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. So please
don't do that to us.
Please don't do that. So register. We're almost out of buckets. I mean, we're down to the last few buckets. So
hey, Jacob Bonham Jacob said he wants a bucket, so he'll buy a spot for a combo because he just wants a bucket. And Jacob, you're my kind of guy. I love this. Yeah.
I can make a deal.
Yeah. Emily and Jacob Bonham, class act all the way. I love you guys. Want to take a second and say hi to Libby Mosier. Hi, Libby. Glad you could tune in and hang out. Brandon, I hear Brandon in a Randy Macho Man voice saying, "Oh yeah." That's I had to get that one in there. And Jeremy Neal, good question. Can people buy the Truckin For Kids shirts or any Truckin For Kids swag at the 10-4 site, or you have to be at the show?
Probably not. I mean, if we have some left after, we did order about 100 more than we did last year. We ran out last year, but not super early, but we wanted to make sure we covered all our bases. So we got a few more this year. And Pete, if you're listening, we got some tanks. So if you're interested in a tank top, we do have not a lot, but we have a few. So get them while they're hot. If we have anything left over after, obviously we'll either take them to other shows or we'll offer them up for sale on, Facebook or something. We don't sell shirts on our website. Stay Loaded sells all of our shirts. So TFK is a little bit different deal, but we'll figure something out. But I kind of got to say, people who show up, people who are there, they're going to get first dibs. So I've had this question a few times, if there'll be shirts available after the show. And all I can say is, I hope not.
Greg.
I hope not, but they might be.
Greg, we'll talk later.
Greg, we'll talk offline. Okay.
There you go.
Don't start nothing now.
Too late. That cat's out of the bag. So Libby, she's sweet. By the way, guys, Libby is married, so we're not doing anything weird or wanky. But yeah, my favorite Oregon boyfriend. I'm glad I could be designated as such.
Just Oregon boyfriend, just so you know, Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon.
Got one in every state.
Thanks, Dan.
Yes, shirts are pretty
awesome. Jim Stoltz, if you have a contact at Scrappers, man, let us have them. And listen, on that note too, the fact that we're close to print.
Of course we have a contact. The Scrappers Racing and Mike Salinas was on our cover 10 years ago. So
well, there you go. So we need to get it. Well, so Mike's out right now from the day-to-day. He's dealing with some medical issues. So his daughter is now behind the wheel of that Top Fuel dragster that they run.
I'm guessing they have a race that weekend though, and I'm sure that Mike is very hands-on and will be there supporting his daughter. So
I would imagine if so, that's the case. But I'll check the schedule out and see what's going on, man.
Maybe we can get the funny car against the dragster. Get out there and do a little run. That'd be good.
As small as that track is, and when you stand on that track and realize how small of an area that those guys are running, that scares the hell out of me to think you could put two cars like that side by side and do what they do.
I think the scarier thing is stopping them.
Yeah.
And right. After you're done, the lanes go to one lane.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a dicey deal for a Top Fuel dragster, probably.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyways, just to finish my point, anybody out there, Dan's doing everything he can to help you guys if you want to get in and be a part of the program in print and get all the due recognition that you would have from being a sponsor or having a booth or being in any way, shape, or form a part of Truckin For Kids. You can still, even if you missed that deadline, you can still donate. You can still get with us, and we could figure something out. You just won't be in the print side of things. But listen, we'll certainly give you some love at the show. We're going to be live streaming all weekend again, Saturday and Sunday. We're not sure on Sunday yet how we're going to play that out, what it's going to be, how much racing coverage, how much show truck coverage or competitor coverage, but we'll get a little bit of everything for everybody out there. So,
well, let me give you a little taste of I'll just give you a little rundown on some of our vendors that we have booked. We've got Toys for Trucks, Baracho's Apparel, Mobile Smoke Check, 10 Lug Mafia, the Custom Rag. We've got Align Tech, a company out of the Central Valley, NorCal Spring Fling. We're going to be promoting that show coming up. Valley Chrome, Sick Rigs, Zephyr Polishes, Shriners Children's, of course, our benefactor. Bent Nation, they sell some really cool shirts and different things. Rush Truck Centers is going to come out and be a diamond sponsor this year. That's pretty awesome. They're new. National Retail Transportation, NRT, another big sponsor. Diesel Plates and Permits, Fletcher's Diesel. We've got Trucks and A&L, M&J, Dynaflex, Stay Loaded, Aranda Truck Accessories, I mean,
We're good.
Pickett Custom Trucks. I told you we just inked them. So, we got a great group of vendors going to be out there. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff to do. So if you're planning on coming out, you should plan on coming out. If you're not, you should plan on it.
I want everybody to think about this too and look at it this way.
We're gonna have a kid zone. We're gonna have coloring contests. We're gonna be giving away 6 bikes each day at the end of each day, Saturday and Sunday, for the different age brackets. We're gonna have face painters. We're gonna have a character artist. The character artist to the stars is gonna draw you or your kid. We can draw adults. So, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. We're maybe going to have a junior dragster on display for the kids to kind of touch and look at and maybe dream about one day racing.
Now that would be fun if we had a few of those guys to run down the track. That's I think something that would really
a conversation
be
for another day, John.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see what happens with that. Something I want to mention too, and this goes with my my view of life, and that's living life to the fullest every single day if you can, and make it happen. You should treat Truckin For Kids at Irwindale, California, at that raceway like it's the last one, because there's no telling how many more after this one will be in Irwindale. I mean, the reality is that track is going to go away at some point. So get out there while you can still say, hey, I hung out with the cool kids at the original, or the most frequently used venue. Let's put it that way, I guess. And probably had some of the most fun out there too over the years, I bet.
Yeah.
And we already have a new location. When we need to move, we're ready to move. We know where it's going to be, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a good place too. But certainly it's been in Irwindale for, I don't know, 14 years now, maybe. And obviously we've only been running the last 2. So this will be our 3rd, but certainly been attending it all those years, all the way back to Palmdale years for, 25, 26, 27 years. So it may
Feels
have
like
been
we've been doing it longer already.
Huh?
Feels like we've been doing it longer already to me, even though I missed last year.
What are you talking about? You're just sitting in Oregon. We just tell you about everything.
I know. I love you guys.
Hey,
I'm there with you.
I know we all say, hey, it's for the kids, and that seems cliche, but this is honestly, it is all for the kids. It is for Shriners. I mean, they do such amazing work, and we are so proud to have them as our benefactor, and we've donated so much money to them already. I can't believe we've done it. It just blows me away that we are blessed to be able to do this. It's a ton of work. But you know what? When it's all done, yay. I can't wait till it's all done. It's all worth it. It's all worth it. So, I'm really excited. So you guys come out, be generous. It's for charity. Buy stuff that costs too much. Do things you maybe wouldn't normally do. We're not keeping any of that money. As soon as we pay for all the costs, it's going to Shriners. And, we donated $90,000 to them last year. And our goal is 100,000 each year here on out. So help us.
Now that you baited the hook of we have the next venue already lined up, some are already making guesses as to what that might be. So
that's okay. We'll just keep it quiet. I mean, it's not that quiet, but let me just say. So let me take this opportunity to plug our 10-4 Trucker Rodeo, which will be November 2nd and 3rd. It will be an old school 80s style trucker rodeo with backing competitions, hay squeeze, hay booming, transfers, tire changing. I mean, we don't even quite know all we're going to do. That's going to be at Kern County Raceway outside of Bakersfield. Okay.
Jacob already nailed it. Yeah, Jacob's on it.
So, you can put 2 and 2 together if you'd like, but that's an amazing venue. It's twice the size of Irwindale. It has a circle track very equal to Irwindale. It's got a brand new drag strip that's going in right now, or maybe it's in, I'm not sure. It's got room to camp. It's in a much more truck friendly region of California, not LA, but Central California, Bakersfield. So it's going to be an amazing event. We don't know a lot of details. We won't have a lot of details on that until after this one. So don't look for them. But just know it's going to be, it's just going to be amazing. It's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be a truck show there too, but It's mostly going to be about working competitions. We're hoping to have trucks on the circle track. We're hoping to do some grudge race, drag racing, just a whole bunch of fun stuff. So that'll be November 2nd and 3rd.
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to, and that goes with us when, or we eventually move out of Irwindale, and that's that we can get back to our Saturday dinner that we usually had in Irwindale.
Well, I
for
hope
some
so.
years.
We don't know that for sure, John. I hope so.
I hope so too. That's got to be part of the deal, man. That's got to be part of the deal.
No, I actually envision a full-on like rib cook-off or something. Not just
that's
our dinner
better
for charity, but like actually literally having like 5 or 6 teams out there cooking in a competition, and the people who are there get to be the judges. They pay something, they're a judge, and
all right.
Not only do they get to eat, but it's fun competition.
All you pit masters out there.
All right, if you're out there, if you have a truck show out there, don't be stealing our ideas. It's going to be a really fun show. Lots of fun stuff.
Well, yeah, just make sure you give credit to Dan and Truckin For Kids if you have a rib cook-off at your truck show anytime soon. So, all right, everybody. So one last time, run it down for our Truckin For Kids dates and times. Give us the quick rundown on that.
All right, April 27th to 28th, which is, oh my God, just a few weeks away.
Yeah.
Yep. So truck gate will open Saturday morning at 9. It'll be open till 3, and then we'll have an amazing light show, which it's there's no light show like a California light show. It's the loudest light show you're ever going to go to.
Absolutely. Smoke-filled, Jake breaking. Yeah.
The next morning, the gate opens on Sunday morning at 6 for any stragglers coming in. It'll be open till noon. Drag racing starts at noon and should wrap up around 4:30. We'll have our silent auction our live auction around 4:30 to 5, button up a lot of things, and then get to our awards around 5, button everything up about 6. Hopefully that's the plan. And then go and celebrate.
Yep.
Highly recommend if you're coming in and bringing your truck or trailer combo, whatever you're bringing, get in there on Saturday before 3:00.
I would agree.
And
and here I'm gonna say something else too. You don't have to show up at 4:30 in the morning on Saturday and get lined up. It's gonna be a chill day. Saturday is just a day to get in there, get parked, wipe down, have a few beers, chill out, whatever. I've been recommending people seriously roll in at 10:30 because that gate's gonna be stupid busy from whenever they open at 8:30 or 9 until they get through that first batch, and all the parking's good, so yeah. So I would recommend you come in an hour after it opens up, and it'll just be probably a smooth sailing coming in.
All right, you guys, we're long today, and that's okay. We got a lot of good stuff to cover, and I think our general consensus that that show we were at last month was pretty cool, but the one coming up this month's the one to be at. So want to see everybody out there. If you're going to be bringing a rig, get in there before 3:00 on Saturday. Otherwise, you're going to have to sneak in at sometime between 6 and noon on Sunday. And that's not something you want to do. You want to get in before that and get parked, get set up. And
plus that gives you more time to relax and enjoy the light show.
Yep.
Absolutely. Be a big part of it. Also want to say something too about the silent auction. Not a chance at an opportunity for you to get a good deal. It's for you to get something nice and give big to the kids. So guys, think about that this year when you're out there and you're doing your silent bidding and putting that all together, and the live auction too, same thing. So it's all a good time for a good cause, right? Yep.
Absolutely. A great time. A good time for a great cause.
There you go. Thank you. All right, you guys. Good seeing you. Of course, as always, the Dan and Shan Show brought to you by Truckin For Kids, a Studio 10-4 Live and 10-4 Magazine.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Have a good night.
All right. You guys be good. All right, you guys. Jeff, everybody that tuned in, Jacob, John, and I want to say, thanks for being here tonight, you guys. It's awesome to get everybody back on board and back into the swing of the live show. here in the studio. So awesome to meet so many people from the show that are regulars. Like John, if you were born, it was great meeting John and so many other folks at Mid America. You guys really touched my heart, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So many people came up and told me how they're fans of the show. They watch the show every week, and it just blew my mind. It really did. We get a small snapshot view of you guys that are watching because you comment, and if you're not commenting, we don't know who you are and that you're there. So to all of you guys out there that are just hanging in the background, thank you so much for being friends of 10-4 Magazine and part of the Studio 10-4 Live weekly update and everything else that we do that comes through 10-4 Magazine. Truckin For Kids coming up. That's going to be the big show for April. We hope to see as many of you out there as possible. If you haven't made your mind up yet, if you're going to come and bring a truck, get that done, man. We want you to get signed up and get a spot. If you haven't made your mind up whether you're even going to just show up and come out and be a spectator, love to have you. It's an awesome, awesome weekend of fun like no other truck show anywhere. So look forward to seeing all you guys and everybody in person again this year. Yep, I will be there. Driving down all the way from Oregon to the show, and looking forward to being there for the weekend. All right, guys, appreciate it. Next week, I'm not sure what we got going on here on the show next week, but we'll figure that out and let you know when we know. Till then, keep the shiny side up. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate every single one of you. Till then, take care.